We get to hear their stories, and we get to comment on their stories, but no, we don't really get to meet them at all. But the interesting thing is that when you bring something to the table for a show like Paranormal Survivor, and you're really involved, for instance, if I bring a case over, it's amazing all of the comments that you hear from the other paranormal experts about the case that you worked on, because, you know, we all kind of tune in and we all kind of look at each other's work, and we all have opinions and we all like to share them. And I think that's, you know, it's key. And you're right, meeting other investigators, meeting other people in the paranormal field, you share ideas, you share cases, you share your opinions, your viewpoints. I think that's really important. Making those connections, I think, are really, really important, because you'll learn so much when you, when you schmooze with other people in the field.
I like the smoozing part.
Yeah, me too.
Well, it's because some of that rubs off.
Yes.
And when I say that, I mean the friendship rubs off, the real paranormal unity rubs off, because when you meet someone, sometimes it makes it a lot harder to not remember them, or to not, like, I'm looking at my chat room, and in this chat room, I have met all but one of the people in the chat room in person.
Really?
So I can tell you something personal about every one of the people in there, even though I can tell you something personal about the person I haven't met in the chat room personally. But that's the thing. When you've met people face to face, you've got that personal connection, and you feel more open to talk about your paranormal experiences, your the do's and don'ts of paranormal, the likes and don't likes.
Yes, that's very true.
You're not, if it's somebody you just met, you're not going to say when they show you their picture of dust, you're not going to say, "Oh, that's dust." You're going to say, "Oh, that's an interesting picture."
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So,
you're absolutely right.
So and as Tom says in the chat room, you become one big family. And at this point, I feel like that with a lot of my paranormal friends, where 4 years ago, I couldn't say that.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's true.
I think we get more connected with the more people that we meet, and the more FaceTime we get with each other.
You're right. The more conversations that we share, I think that's truly important. And somebody asked me recently, do you really think that para-unity is possible? And, it's interesting, because I do know many people that claim that it absolutely is not possible, because there are way too many differences of opinion, and way too many differences of, investigative techniques and all of that. But I don't know. I think that even amidst all of that, just the fact that we are all united in our quest to know more about the paranormal, that speaks volumes. I think that para-unity is achievable. I do, amidst all of those differences.
The only way that paranormal unity is not achievable are the people who are closed off from the being open.
Yeah.
That's the only way that it's not achievable. So you have to open up not only your mind, you have to open up your heart.
Yeah.
And some people can't do that. And some people can't take feedback. I'm not saying criticism, because criticism is awful.
Yes.
And framing criticism as feedback is wrong.
Right.
Because there's ways to talk to people that's not criticism and is feedback. And I've seen way too much criticism and not enough feedback.
Yeah. Me too.
So like I said, there's a lot of ways to do it there's a lot of ways to become unified without being tactless and mean.
Right. No, you're right. I mean, it's all about integrity, really.
It's like
Totally.
the way that you talk as a paranormal expert on the show.
Right.
You're not saying, "Hey, you're full of crap." You explain. I mean, I know that there's sometimes that you, in your mind, or even when you're watching TV, you see stuff and go, "That's crap."
Yes.
And then you analyze it a little bit more and you go, "Okay, how can I turn this around and say it's not crap, it could possibly be this instead," in a more tactful way that makes people think about it and go, "Oh, okay, this makes a little bit more sense." Because the way that you say stuff on the show, it totally makes sense that it truly is this as opposed to something else.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have to be clear. And you're right, you don't want to offend anybody because let's face it, when you have an experience with the paranormal, it is a really personal experience. So how the paranormal speaks to you may not be how the paranormal speaks to somebody else. However, if it's a picture of dust, yeah, you're right. You need to say how you feel without saying, yeah, well, you're a dork.
Yeah. I mean, I know that there are pictures that I've taken that it looks like a snow shower.
Right.
But in that snow shower, I see something that's different sometimes.
Yes.
And sometimes I don't. But again, we have this one picture that somebody took of me that everybody who sees it that's not, that doesn't seem to be an empath or have medium abilities,
Right.
sees nothing. Okay. So I see nothing.
Right.
Everybody else sees a little man in a red leisure suit. I see nothing. So it's like, okay, what in the heck is it then? Well, I just kind of laugh about it and move on. But people sit there, including Ron, sits there and points it out to me, every piece of this. And it's like, I don't see it. You can point it out. I can see the red. It looks like me moving my hand. Like they got me in motion, because as I'm sitting here, I'm talking with my hands. And when I give tours, I talk with my hands. So I just figured that's what it was. But no, a bunch of people saw this picture and that's what they said. And they're like, okay, whatever. But again, it's the same as what me. It's a picture of me, so I'm more critical anyway.
Right.
But other people, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you, hey, it's probably her moving. No, it's just a little man with a leisure suit.
That's interesting. Well, it's funny because with the Georgina Paranormal Society, I made it my mission to have public paranormal meetings, and a lot of paranormal groups don't do that. We encourage it here, and one of the reasons I do is because I want people to experience pictures, EVPs that people have taken. I want everybody to listen. I want everybody to see. And you're absolutely right. We encourage people to bring USBs of any pictures or anything that they've captured. We show them in a public forum. And it's amazing how many people will say, don't you see that? And I mean, it can be matrixing or pareidolia, all you want. But honestly, there are 4 or 5 people that come every single time we have a meeting, and they totally see things and are able to point things out that are quite incredible. So I always think having an open mind is the best way to go. And I can't tell you that, we don't have meetings where people just look at a picture and go, yeah, that's nothing, that's snow, or no, that's nothing, that's dust, or I don't know, maybe there was something on your lens that day. And that's okay too. It's all about communication, education, becoming involved with each other, and learning about, this whole crazy business of the paranormal in that kind of a venue. And I think, it's important. And you're right. You're so right. There are people out there who have some kind of extrasensory perception that are able to pick things up that you yourself might have looked at a million times and have gone, yeah, no, there's nothing there. This is a bunch of, crap.
Oh, yeah. Because I'll sit there and go, or hooey, or whatever,
Right.
It's just, I'm sitting there going, no.
Yeah.
But it's just, but I mean, I'll tell you, the first time I had a picture that had all these orbs in it, I'm going, look at all that. And then I showed it to somebody and they go, that's dust. And I was like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Right.
But like, hey, I don't know. But again, I'm thinking about the room that I was in and going, oh yeah, it had to be dust. There was so much dust and dirt in that room. It had to be, you know, I could see where it all got stirred up. So, but it is funny when you try to tell somebody that these days, they don't want to hear the truth.
No.
But
No,
I love the people that want to hear the truth. I really do.
Yep, I do too.
Because they want to learn, and that's what this is all about, is we're all learning from each other. And that leads back to where we started on this, is paranormal unity. And that's where we learn from each other. And, you know, that's important to me, that if I learn something from someone, I'm going to tell people where I learned it from.
Yes.
Who I learned it from. Did I learn it from any one of the books that I have on my shelf? Did I learn it from a guest? That's really important to give the kudos back to who I learned it from. And so that I find that to be extremely important too.
Yeah.
That's still, again, part of the paranormal unity that we discussed. So, but I'm hoping to someday that we do get to meet, and because I know that we talked about some things before all the rigmarole in my life decided to go on the roller coaster ride back months ago.
Right.
So, but I do have some things in the works with a couple different people right now. But again, like I was saying in the chat room, I'm not in this to get famous. I'm in the, you know, if I get famous on accident, that's one thing, but I'm not in this to get famous on purpose. So,
Yep, I totally agree with that.
And
I'm a nobody. Yeah, but no, exactly. I'm pretty much a nobody. I mean, I live in a little tiny town in Georgina, Ontario. And yeah, I mean, how did this happen? Well, fate, chance, I don't know. But I'm a nobody, and yet I'm part of a really huge thing called the paranormal. And that's important too. Totally important.
Right. Well, like you said, kind of, you fell into it by accident.
I did, yeah.
So.
But, you know, some people out there, though, Denise, they would say there are no accidents. There are no coincidences.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
And we are at our next commercial break. This is a 2-minute break. So, everybody, this is your chance to go and get a drink and refresh. So, you're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.